What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and baby, let's get into the drama of it all because we got a few things to talk about. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So first up, let's talk about Real Housewives of Miami. When I tell you I can't wait until my telenovela is back because I miss this show so much. And I think I saw that Marisol responded to a comment in like on her Instagram because somebody was like, when do y'all come back? And I think she said June. Sadness. But let's talk about Miss Adriana. So Adriana was doing an interview, I think was US Weekly. I'll definitely find the article and link it in the description box below. But this is coming from Jay's reality blog. And she said this. It says, Adriana teases hashtag RHOM season 7. This season has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of unexpected things that even myself wasn't expecting. On a personal level, there is some conflict with friends that I thought I was friends with, maybe not so much friends, the typical cattiness of housewives. She goes on to say, I'm really happy with the new season. I believe this is going to be the best season yet. I think we keep outdoing ourselves, and I think the twists and turns, this amazing kind of roller coaster ride, are really going to show this season so much so that I'm thinking, our episodes are going to just be building up to an amazing finale. Girl, I'm ready. Bring them back immediately. Oh, I'm so mad because I don't like I said, I don't think they come back till June. So all we have is Real Housewives of Atlanta. And right now we're only 4 episodes into Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's cute, but it's not given the way Miami has been given the last couple of seasons. And I just miss them. Like I said, I just miss them. I'm ready to be entertained. And because, like a lot of people have said, the big 3 right now when it comes to Real Housewives for me and for a few other people is OC, Miami, and Salt Lake City. The 3 of them have delivered consistently for the past 2 seasons. And I will give Miami this, like Adriana said in, her talking point where she was like, we keep outdoing ourselves. She not lying. Season 4 was really good, but 5 was better than season 4, and 6, 8. The way they were in Mexico, praying for Gertie with her cancer, them on that gondola ride through the marshes of Mexico, freaking out when they got to the islands of the dolls, Lisa and Kiki getting into it on the boat, Gertie throwing up. When I tell you, it was the perfect storm of chaos. I just like, oh my, they just give us good entertainment. But it definitely, from all the things that we've heard about this season, I definitely feel like Julia is about to be in the hot seat. And I love the fact that we've gotten little tidbits about the season, but we don't know how people have gotten to where they are. The fact that Julia threw a drink at Gertie, I want to understand why. Like, I want to know what happened to escalate the conversation or the argument to that point where Julia felt the need to throw a drink at Gertie. Because as much as I think Gertie is annoying, that's really her own offense. She's annoying. She's never outright disrespectful or nasty to anybody. So why would Julia feel the need to throw a drink at her? And I remember at Bravo Fan Fest, I talked about this in my in one of the drama videos where Marisol and Alexia pretty much were like, yeah, Julia, we didn't agree with her throwing that drink. So it seems like Julia might be putting herself on an island by herself, because I also know that Julia and Adriana don't seem to be in a good place, because I told y'all that there was a clip going around and I showed it to you guys where they were arguing and Adriana was like, now I see you for who you are. So I'm just like, Julia, girl, what's gotten into you, Miss Farm Girl? But I'm happy to watch, so I'm ready for it. So let's move over to Real Housewives of Potomac. First things first, whoever told Ashley she could sing, you need to spend time in jail for lying and for giving this lady the confidence she has. I mean, I guess you have to be delusional in life in order to get certain things, but I feel like Ashley knows no shame. So there's this clip going around of Ashley singing at the local news. I think it's like DC5 local, and they're doing a tribute to the late Roberta Flack. And when I tell you, at first I didn't even know it was Ashley. I thought it was some white lady singing, and I was like, why is everybody resharing this? And then paused the video and I looked further. I said, oh my god, that's Ashley. And then when she continued to, like, when she started singing, y'all, she sounded horrible. And when I tell you the saxophonist was me, because the way he was staring at Ashley, like, I know you effing lying. I said, y'all couldn't get anybody else? Anybody else? Like, it was so bad that she was making the backup the singers sound bad, and they actually sounded good. So the last thing we're going to talk about as it pertains to Real Housewives of Potomac is Mia. So today, which is April the 5th, TV Deets posted that Mia has officially moved to Atlanta. So it says this, it says Mia Thornton confirms she has moved to Atlanta, hashtag RHOP. And it's a picture of all three of her kids. And mind you, while I'm looking at this picture, I'm like, Mia, the the nerve of you to bring us that paternity storyline. Now that I look at Jeremiah and Juju, I was like, they have the same face. There was no way you could have ever thought that Ink was Jeremiah's father when Jeremiah and Juju look exactly like their dad and they look exactly like each other. So TV Deets posted the Instagram photo that Mia captioned with this post, and she created her piece, "We love it here." And then she has hashtag penthouse living, hashtag ATL, hashtag mama bear. So all this lets me know is we don't have to see Mia on Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'm actually happy. Okay. I would have loved for her to come back to see the girls get at her, but I don't think Mia has the mental fortitude, and to be honest. But that means we also don't have to see Jacqueline. So praise be to God. Okay. So maybe this is why they delayed filming, because it's only really rare when they allow the girls to publicly let it be known that they don't live in the city that they're supposed to be filming in. Like Heather Dubrow, my girl, my Capricorn sis, okay, in OC, she does not live in OC. She actually lives in Beverly Hills with Terry and their last two kids. We actually saw them the last two seasons. I think season 17, we saw her looking for a house in Beverly Hills. And then season 18, it opened up with them doing complete renovations on the house that they purchased in Beverly Hills. But I think because Terry and Heather have a house in OC, like a condo, and it's near the assisted living facility that Terry's mom lives, that's how they get around, like, oh, she's still a part of OC because she splits her time going back and forth to Beverly Hills to OC to check on Terry's mom, you know. But I don't feel like Mia is that valuable to Potomac for them to watch her go from Atlanta to the DMV area like every other episode. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, I wonder if this is why they truly delayed filming, because maybe they are trying to find somebody to take Mia's spot and Karen's spot. Because if you think about it, without Mia, we lose Jacqueline, and I don't know, we might lose Jazzy, or this might be an opportunity for Jazzy to swoop in and actually get a flute and hold on to her flute. You know what I mean? But that might also save Kiarna to keep her flute. So then the lineup would be Wendy, Giselle, Ashley, Stacy, Kiarna, and potentially Jazzy. So then that would leave 3 spots open, 2 for 2 full-time housewives and 1 for a friend. I don't know. They might be able to pull it off. I feel like this might actually give them a chance to have like a real like clean slate in a sense. I know some people want Candace to come back. I've seen some people say bring back Robin, but I feel like if I was a producer, I would not bring Candace or Robin back until like season like 11 or 12, because the next season will be season 10. So then we would have like 2 years or 3 years to miss them. And then people would actually value both ladies coming back or one lady coming back. But that's just my opinion. So moving on, let's talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So let's talk about PK. So shouts out to the content creator by the name of She Speaks with Emily Hanks. She has an Instagram and also a YouTube. I've been like looking at her content on Instagram recently, and I really like the different perspectives she has on everything when it comes to Bravo. Okay, she be knowing some things, and I'd be like, okay, I see you, Emily. Well, she posted on her Instagram screenshots of a back and forth conversation she had with PK, as well as on her YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description box below. She did a video talking about her exchange with PK. So check it out. But let's talk about these screenshots she posted. So she made this graphic and it says this: PK sent me a lovely DM last night. So when you look at the DM, y'all, he sent this at 2:17 a.m. PK was in his feelings, in his chest. It says this: is there any chance at all that you could stop lying? I was married to my wife for 20 years, not 9. I have never had a house foreclosed upon ever. And I remain super close with all of my children, particularly my 3 older ones who are not on social media. And I do not appreciate you grabbing an old photo and posting their images on your disgusting blog. So please take their image down. Just stop lying for clicks and money. Feel free to post this message, although I doubt you will, as it will show everyone just what total shit you talk and how you have no regard for kids that are not in your super sick world. Okay, PK. So the next slide is Emily responding, and she has I responded. So she said this: I think sharing this message will only demonstrate the way in which you communicate. Now, mind you, she responded back to him at 6:58 a.m. And I like how she started off with the attitude. She said, and you sent it after 2 a.m. nevertheless. While the years you were married to your ex may be wrong, which I will correct because I do like to be accurate. I never said your homes were foreclosed on, but they were in pre-foreclosure, which I stated in my content. In regards to your relationship with your children, it is interesting you say you remain close with them, particularly your 3 older ones. Being that your younger ones are here in LA and in the midst of your separation, I would think you would want to ensure that relationship is strong. But that's good to know. Do you send all your content creators and podcasters messages like these, or am I the lucky one? See, I like the spiciness, okay? I like the spiciness at the end and in the beginning. So the next slide she posted, she captioned it, then he threatened me. So PK responded to her and he said this: 4 of my kids are in LA, one studying in Rio. I'd personally stay away from my kids, full stop. Your content is designed to defame, but that's up to you. Obviously, it goes without saying that I'm close with my little ones, and you're the lucky one that gets to hear from me because everything you said was made up. Keep writing and posting about my family, and you see how lucky you'll get. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. PK, you the one that can't take it because you messaging the lady. Okay. So it continues with him saying this: you're not a content creator, you're a liar who posts what she wants behind a filter that's probably marginally more of a misleading image than that which you talk about. Go for it. See what a father who loves his kids will do to protect them when someone is out to harm them. And me, good luck. So then she finished her slideshow by saying, so I blocked him. with a screenshot of him being blocked. I don't think it was that deep. And normally watching Emily's content, she never says anything maliciously or in malice. So I don't know why he got that mad. Maybe he was just tired of seeing people speak about his situation with Dorit and his kids. But to be honest, I listened to her video and she never said his homes were in foreclosure. She did say pre-foreclosure. So I don't understand why he got that angry. But there you have it. So go check out Miss Emily. She's speaking with Emily Hanks. So let's move over to Married to Medicine. So there is still clips coming out of the live that Simone and Sweet Tea did on Sweet Tea's YouTube channel. And I want to talk about two of the clips. Okay. So one of them was Dr. Simone defends Toya after Sweet Tea says she wasn't a real, true, genuine friend. And then Simone ends up telling Sweet Tea, Toya does not bring you into her home if she doesn't F with you for real. And I believe that. I genuinely believe that when it comes to Toya, if she really don't rock with you, she's not allowing you into her house like that, especially not when the cameras are down. And I do know that Toya and Sweet Tea did spend time together at her home, because I remember seeing IG like Insta stories about it, and like they post pictures together. I think that where Sweet Tea messed up, and shouts out to James Caldwell, because he did a live with Dr. Heavenly, where Dr. Heavenly pretty much said that she thinks the reason why Sweet Tea and Toya fell out is because Toya was trying to remain in a good place with Quad. Like Eugene and King and Quad and all of them had been hanging out. And when Sweet Tea hopped onto her YouTube channel basically saying that Toya was pushing her to go after Quad, it rubbed her the wrong way. Because I don't think Toya felt like she did that, but I'm like, girl, you kind of did. But I don't think she was expecting Sweet Tea to jump out the window like that. You know what I mean? So then the next video, and I have the clip for that, it says Sweet Tea speaks about how the cast not holding Quad accountable and feeling silence in the group.
Reunion was the first time that I saw any accountability from Gregory. Any accountability from Gregory. Because when you look at, you now see that King is in his feelings about your exchange with Quad. And one of the things that I don't know King, I'm not taking up for King, but one of the things that I respected about King was he was like, they have their issues that they haven't worked through yet.
Yes, but he got involved in their issues. And so if Quad is attacking Gregory, Gregory has a right to say something.
We all have the right to say whatever we want to, but we got to take responsibility when what we say is bad. How we say it.
But where was the accountability for it with Quad? I did not see y'all not one time hold that bitch accountable at all.
You did. You did. You saw the green screens talking about she was drunk. Yes, you did. You just made it. Yes.
That was commentary. That was not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The very people that you're saying had a pact were also saying on their green screen, it was clear that she was tipsy.
How
could I have been more supportive?
Well, I think the issue is that we didn't really get a chance to have the moment to really hash it out. It was just kind of, I felt like everybody was trying to silence me, sweep it on the rug, and we weren't going to address it. So I didn't feel important because I felt like I was shushed all the time. And so I felt like, okay, well, am I not that important? I have a voice as well. And I didn't feel like I wasn't given a space. It was kind of like, well, let's not talk about it. Let's say, oh, well, you know.
So shouldn't you have said that to one of us in front of the camera?
I did say that.
You said what?
I did say that, you know, allow me to speak. And I would speak. I would try to speak. And then it would be like, okay, not right now. It would be like, not right now. And it would be a group effort that would be like, well, read the room.
Back to Gregory.
Oh, yeah.
He was disappointed by the group.
He was very disappointed because he really felt like, you know, my friends ain't even speaking up for me. Like, they know my character. Like, I hang out with these guys on the weekend. Like, he was genuinely hurt.
So I was actually surprised by Simone's response because it was actually balanced. And right now, her and Quad don't see it for each other. But I do agree with what she said. Like, at the reunion was the first time we actually saw Gregory try to take some type of responsibility for his actions. I also think Sweet Tea has to understand what you want these ladies to do, they're never going to do for you. You think they had a pact when, like Simone said, no, they said Quad was drunk. They said Quad was doing too much. They all said like both of them were on one. You and Gregory just wanted them to call out Quad and like admonish her and chastise her. But they also feel like Gregory was doing too much. And I get that Gregory's feelings are hurt, but his behavior lended to his friends not supporting him because they didn't want no parts of his behavior. He has to take ownership of that. And I wish Sweet Tea would open up her eyes and realize, girl, that your husband has issues. And you not seeing that is going to land you in some issues. You know what I mean? And I get it. The group does sun her. They do try to silence Sweet Tea. But at times, Sweet Tea to me acts like a child. Like, for her to be 34 years old, she acts like a 24-year-old at times, where I'm just like, it doesn't seem like you know how to self-regulate. And I also feel like at some point you have to sit back and really like peep the scene that you're in and then start moving accordingly. And it feels like she still hasn't gotten to that point. And that's kind of weird to me. So moving on, the last thing we're going to talk about as it pertains to Married to Medicine is this viral tweet of Quad and one of my mutuals on Twitter. So shouts out to them. They said this: Simone did not flip on Mariah to save Quad. Simone literally is the producer's pet and did their dirty work to get Mariah off the show. Hashtag Married to Medicine. So Quad quote tweeted this saying, just so the people in quotation marks know what it really was. Hashtag Married to Med. And then there's a clip of Carlos King speaking about it where Mariah did an interview with him. I did do a review on that interview, so check it out. It's one of my chitty chat videos. But let me play the clip for you.
Alliances.
It is.
There's
It
alliances.
is. Yeah.
I listen. I believe Quad when Simone allegedly said to her, "I can't go against you because I don't want to make."
She said that. No, I know. No, she absolutely. Quad is not lying because she's the person that said to me they want me to put the nail in your coffin.
Simone
is deep. Yeah, she's the person that said to me they want me to put the nail in your coffin, but I'm not sure if I can do it.
So I'm a blogger, but Simone's a backstabber, allegedly.
That's the person. Everybody keeps saying Quad. The person I had more. Quad was my best friend. Never was jealous of her. Thought the world of her, honestly. But Simone delivered my babies. Deliver my sister babies, deliver my cousin's babies.
See, I don't like this narrative. And the reason why I don't is I feel like Mariah and Quad never put the onus on production. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel like the ladies do hold some, culpability or, fault for getting these ladies like pushed off the show. But at the end of the day, in order for these women to come together collectively and push somebody off the show, production has to be tired of you. Production has to say, you know what, you're not worth it. They don't see value in you anymore. And I feel like Mariah and Quad never take accountability for their actions or really go at the main villains of why they were pushed off the show. Mariah got kicked off the show because production no longer wanted her on the show. They no longer saw her as being an asset or valuable, or they felt like she was making too much noise. And I feel like Mariah has never really checked her behavior towards the women, because if the women never said, you know what, we're going to help production get you off the show, then you wouldn't have been off the show. But they got tired of you, Mariah. Same with Quad. If production would have not came to the women being like, hey, we kind of sick of her. If y'all want her to leave, y'all can tell her to leave and we'll get a plane ticket for her. Then they would have never pushed you off the show. At the end of the day, y'all's behavior contributed to the people wanting you off the show. The women could want you off the show, but production has to also want you off the show for you to get kicked off the show. If production wants you to stay, you will stay. And I feel like they never get mad at production. They just get mad at the ladies. And at the end of the day, nobody is going to forego a good check for somebody they don't like or they're not in a good place with. Hell, somebody probably won't give up a good check for a friend, especially if they got bills to pay. So y'all, let's talk about Leah McSweeney. So the last time we talked about her case with Bravo, she pretty much was trying to get the green light to actually like sue them, and Bravo was trying to dismiss the case. Well, it looks like she got a small victory. So let's read about it. So it says this, and y'all know the link will be in the description box below. This is coming from realityt.com. It says Leah McSweeney reacts after Bravo lawsuit is given green light. It says a judge gives Leah McSweeney, Bravo's lawsuit, the green light to move forward. So, of course, the former Real Housewives of New York star is feeling as pleased as a punch. It says Leah sued Bravo last year, lodging a handful of accusations against the network. Bravo filed a motion to have the case dismissed, but a judge decided to leave most of the case intact. This mess is moving forward, and Leah sees it as a win. So it goes on to say on March the 31st, 2025, Judge Louis Lyman of the South District of New York issued a 100-page ruling that allowed Leah's case against Bravo to continue. Although some of her smaller claims were tossed out, the crux of the case remains. She claims that producers created a hostile work environment and weaponized her addiction problems for the storyline. Leah's lawsuit was a part of a larger reality reckoning that saw Bethany Frankel leading a handful of reality stars to rally against Bravo. In 2023, Vanity Fair published a investigative piece highlighting their claims of behind-the-scenes misconduct. For the most part, the reality reckoning lost its steam. Bethany got preoccupied with spitting out conspiracy theories on TikTok. Leah, on the other hand, has remained persistent. In a new interview with Vanity Fair, the former RHONY star reacted to the news of the lawsuit moving forward. She probably already is getting her outfits together for her court appearances. So it goes on to say, Leah said this: "I was very pleased for the Judge Lehman's decision to move this case forward." Leah says, "To be honest, I wish I did not have to have so many days in court, but I'm looking forward to seeing the truth and justice prevail." The Real Housewives of New York is streaming on Peacock. Why would you end it like that? But I'll put the link to this article in the description box below. So here's my thoughts about this. And I still somewhat have the same thoughts that I had beforehand about this situation, where I said that I don't think Brandi Glanville or Leah McSweeney are going to get what they want out of this case. Like, I don't know if they truly want just settlements, that would be fine, but I don't think they'll ever be able to be a reality TV stars, because no network is going to want to touch them now that you're going out your way to sue them. I also feel like Leah has yet to truly take responsibility for her actions and the parts that she played in this. Because yes, you can say that it was a hostile work environment, but you started drinking a year before you got on the show. Like, you already broke your sobriety. So you can't really put that on the show. Like, and when they felt like they didn't need to use you anymore, they let you go. So it just gives like disgruntled employee, as well as you are the one encouraging other people to drink. I will never forget her behavior on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, where she was like trying to get everybody to drink because she felt like they were boring. So she has yet to really say that she took part in this like toxic work environment. She also was happy to come back to the show when the reboot was happening, because she thought that she was going to be a part of the reboot. And I feel like that's really where this all stems from her, is that she thought she was going to be a part of the season 15 reboot, and when that didn't happen, she was upset. Because I do remember reading an article about her saying that she was excited for Real Housewives of New York, and she either thought she was going to be on the legacy show or the reboot, and they didn't pick her up for either one. And then all of a sudden these articles and this lawsuit came about. So it feels disingenuous to me. But I am interested to see like what the outcome is going to be, and if I'm right about her not getting what she truly wants from this. But let's move on to our final topic, which is Real Housewives of Atlanta. So first up, an update. So I feel like it was the drama video, or maybe it was a spicy corner. We talked about Angela Oakley and Wendy Williams in that clip that recirculated from the Wendy Williams show, where she was basically saying that Angela told her, well, Wendy is just a baby. And we know that Wendy's ex-husband had a baby on her. So Wendy responded to that being like, girl, you're more forgiving than me. Where Angela decided to hop down in the comments and let people know that like the girls are reaching. So this is coming from the Bravo Shade Room. It says Angela Oakley reacts to claims that her husband Charles Oakley allegedly fathered a child by another woman while married. So Angela said that Wendy Williams article is insane. Wait until y'all find out how old Charlie Jr. is. And then she gets caught responding to someone saying more like effed up because it ain't my story. So I guess Angela is saying like, girl, I'm not the Angela she talking about, but we'll figure it out. Normally when the girls try to lie and say that something isn't true, somebody comes out and debunks it. So if Angela is lying, we'll find out. So moving on from Angela, let's talk about Miss Kelly because it looks like her divorce settlement is finalized. So this was posted by In Touch Weekly. The link to this article will be in the description box below. But it says this. It says RHOA newbie Kelly Farrell divorce judgment reveal 4-figure monthly support, diamonds, and more. It goes on to say Real Housewives of Atlanta newbie Kelly Farrell's bitter divorce from ex-husband Truvalo. I think that's how you say that means. Yeah, Truvalo. Y'all know me names. Farrell was officially finalized weeks after he was thrown in jail for contempt. In Touch can exclusively report. In Touch obtained the final judgment and decree signed by the court on September the 23rd, 2024. The judgment noted that the exes appeared before the court on 2 separate occasions in August of 2024. It says after receiving the evidence, the judge reached a decision on the division of property and support. Kelly filed for divorce in 2022. The exes share 3 children: Chance, born in 2012, twins Chastity and Chelsea, born in 2015. Kelly has an older daughter named Chloe from a previous relationship. It says the courts ordered the parties to share joint legal custody. Kelly was awarded primary custody and will have the right to make any decision regarding the children's education and non-emergency health care. Truvalo will be entitled to visitation with the children. He was ordered to pay $3,991 per month in child support and maintain health insurance of his offspring. The court ordered the exes to split the proceeds from the sale of their marital home. Kelly was awarded $175,000 and $90,000 went to Truvalo. The parties owned and operated a restaurant together during their marriage, Nana's Chicken and Waffles, and through the business venture and parties incurred various debts as it relates to the marital debts. The parties guaranteed mutual businesses loans from various third parties and creditors, the order read. During their separation, the parties defaulted on incurred federal sale taxes and Georgia state tax liabilities stemming from a business operations from 2017 to 2022, the filing noted. The court laid out who will pay each debt. The judgment noted that during the party separation, Truvalo deposed of approximately $790,000 of marital assets. The judgment says, although Truvalo deposed of numerous marital assets, Kelly testified that several of the items were gifts the parties gave one another during their marriage. Kelly was awarded all household furniture worth $45,000, a 2021 navy blue Cadillac Escalade, a Rolex Oyster wristwatch, a diamond necklace, and her wedding ring set. The settlement comes weeks after Truvalo was locked up for failing to pay child support. On August the 7th, the judge granted Kelly's request to throw Truvalo behind bars over money owed. The court ordered Truvalo to stay behind bars until he caught up his $14,889. Woo, you was that far behind, bro? Jail records obtained In Touch show Truvalo was booked in the Rockdale County Jail on August the 7th. Kelly's ex was released on August the 14th, 2024. After posting bond in her initial divorce petition, Kelly listed the date of marriage as August the 20th, 2011, and the date of separation as January the 2022. She demanded sole custody of the kids. Truvalo demanded joint legal and physical custody. Truvalo's rep previously told In Touch, Mr. Farrell appreciates the interest in his ongoing personal matters, but in his commitment to focusing on his family and professional responsibilities during this challenging time, it is important to note that the details surrounding his divorce from Kelly Potter Farrell are complex and sensitive. Mr. Farrell has consistently sought to resolve the issues amicably and in the best interest of all parties involved, particularly their children. Earlier this year, it was announced that Kelly would be joining season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And that's the end of the article. So I'm happy that Kelly and her husband are no longer together. I do hope that she's safe and her children are safe, because to threaten to take somebody's life in front of a judge so like callously is crazy to me, and lets me know that you're not wrapped too tight. I mean, it sucks that she has to share custody with him because you don't know what he about to do, but hopefully he done calm down and he take himself to therapy or anger management. But yeah, I'm happy she can move on with her life because she should be able to. So let's talk about Miss Cynthia Bailey. So there was a lot of conflicting opinions about Miss Cynthia. So Cynthia was asked about her opinion about the situation between Kenya and Brit. One of the clips I'm going to play for you guys is from the Housewives nightcap show. And then the other one, I haven't seen anybody state where she was talking. Like, I've seen the clips on other blog pages, but I haven't seen anybody say who was interviewing her. But she's basically asked again about the situation, and people were really upset about her saying that Brit made a mistake. So I'm going to play the first clip of her at the Housewives nightcap.
Unfold is Brit and Kenya.
Yes.
Everything that goes down there. Are you in touch with Kenya? Has your relationship changed based on what happened?
I have not spoken to Kenya since around the time that whole thing happened.
Okay.
And, that's really kind of a sad situation for me because I was there to just support her salon. I'm so proud of her. I know how hard she's worked on it. And I was just so disappointed to see her vision be overshadowed by what happened at the salon, which you guys will see. I felt like that should have been the focus because, that was her like life dream, like building this hair care empire. And I just wish she had called me before, or like, I definitely would have like, this is your moment. This is like beautiful. The entire event was amazing. And it just ended on not such a great note. And I let her know that, because I just thought it was beneath her. I hold my friends to a standard. Kenya is a woman of class. I just felt like it was beneath her, and I was a little disappointed in how she.
So I was actually surprised that people were mad at Cynthia's response in this interview, because I got what she was saying. Like, this is my friend, someone I hold in high regard, and I don't agree with the move that she made. Like, she should have ran it by me. When we see the episode, I definitely think Kenya was justified in retaliating against Brit Edie, but she just took it a step too far, and unfortunately, her comeuppance blew back in her face, where she either got suspended or she left the show, and she lost a huge part of her income. She had people all throughout the summer dogging her out, and then now here we are, and people feel like she's been vindicated. But I don't know if people are still going to feel that way once we actually see the episode that's supposed to premiere this Sunday. So moving on, let's talk about another clip that got the people upset. So Cynthia was doing another interview where she was asked about the situation, and this is what she had to say.
There at the scene where the situation happened with Brit using the gun word, the pistol word, which I think is completely like off limits. Like, you should never in any situation on this show bring up a gun. Like, what's that?
Did you see the episode Sunday?
I saw the episode and I heard about the episode, but I just saw it. So you have to remember, without seeing it, I was basing my opinion on Kenya's reaction, not to what happened. And I definitely feel like Brit, made a mistake. It was just not the word to use.
So this is where I can understand people's frustrations with Cynthia, because that was not a mistake. Brit meant to say what she said because she wanted to put fear in Kenya. Like, let's just call a thing a thing. The first time she mentioned having a firearm on her was in defense of her and Kelly, when they were like, oh, do you want to wait outside for Mike? And Kelly was like, oh, I got Kenny here. And she was like, girl, I got my pistol on me. The second time, she said pistols, whips, I got everything. I don't play them GD games. And she was yelling in Kenya's direction and talking about, you gonna learn today. And her own husband had to tell her, girl, you doing too much. That was not a mistake. That was deliberate. And she wanted to make Kenya feel uncomfortable, and she wanted Kenya to fear her at that point, because Kenya embarrassed her. So then now, because I can't go back and forth with you verbally, now I have to make you fear me. And that's what happened. So when people were mad about this clip, I understood, because I'm like, girl, that was not a mistake. That was no mistake. Like, I know for a fact, if Cynthia was at that dinner and if any of those women threatened her that way, she would be livid. She would be pissed. Now, would she have reacted like Kenya? I don't think so. But she wouldn't have saw it as a mistake, because that was not a mistake. So let's talk about Shamia and Portia for our last topic. So Shamia was on her YouTube channel and she was talking about her interactions with Portia, and her mom was on there as well. So the first clip I'm going to play for you guys is her reacting to the way that Portia was responding to Shamia when she was trying to play her music for the ladies.
To the dinner and I play my music for everybody.
Okay, here we go. Is this you? No, that's not her, that's Drew.
People are talking over it, not respecting my music.
That's me. I don't know your singing voice. You gotta listen.
That was hurtful.
You know that ain't Shamia's voice.
Especially seeing as though Portia's a good friend of mine, and I would have thought she, would have at least let the people hear the song.
Are you on it?
Portia. And the fact that, it was like a thing, like, oh no, this is Drew's song, stop. Why would I be playing Drew's song when I've been singing since I was able to talk? I don't know, that's crazy. I wouldn't get on this platform and promote somebody else. I mean, I will support other people, but as far as promoting, I'm promoting my own damn music. This is what I do.
Why do I feel like it's a diss track?
I talked to her about it, and yeah, y'all gonna have to you'll see how that all unfolds.
Portia definitely made herself look like a hater with that scene. It was like, girl, the first time you said it, okay, but you kept saying it, and then even when you got into the confessionals, you were being shady. It doesn't make you look good, girl. You come off as a hater, Miss Portia, okay? So I can understand Shamia being hurt because she has always had Portia's back, and then in this instance, when she wants the same in return, it's not given to her. So I understand her feeling upset and disheartened by that. The other video I'm going to play for you now, it's 3 minutes long. I'm going to speed it up. But her mom comes in. So it says this: Shamia's mother, Mama Morton, speaks on Miss Diane telling Portia to watch the dog that brings the bone. You literally just called my child a dog when I taught my children to be very loyal. So it seems like Shamia's mom was not happy about that. So let me play the clip for you guys.
Continue to pray for people and that despitefully misuse you. Because that's exactly what it is. But guess what? We just keep it pushing. We just dwell on the good things and the positive things in life and just, that's what we do. The whole episode was good, except for a few things that I kind of lifted my eyebrows to. And I had to kind of take it to the Lord in prayer, because when I get offended, I be offended because I don't raise y'all to do that. The Lord that whom I called my friend back in the day, my best friend back in the day, Diane, she's kind of offended me when she said to Portia, be careful as to the dog that brings the bone. And it was directly talking about you. And I was really upset about that. And the reason being is because, first of all, I would never, if I know that there's a direct conversation, I flipped the script and she was out with you and talking to you and sharing the friendship situation and what had happened with the other girls. And I came and I told Portia about it. And then Sarah comes on the scene and says to you, we just got to continue to put on the scene and says to you, be careful as to the dog that brings the bone. So you literally just called my child a dog when I know how I've taught my children to be very loyal. I know how you are, of course, y'all are good friends. You're very loyal to her. And I've always hoped that she was the same way, reciprocated what was given. Really had a problem with it because I know I didn't raise a dog. And I always raised y'all to say, tell the truth to your friend. This is your friend. She will, you would have wanted her to do the same thing. But
absolutely. Like, I just wouldn't have, I would have felt some kind of way if someone was talking about me to her and she didn't tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm like, I only operate on how I would want somebody to operate with me.
Yes.
And it's like, well, dang, if I hadn't told her, then they would have found a problem with that. I don't know. That was like, to me, that was a lie. I just wouldn't have.
I would have
I've never heard you talk nasty about Portia or any of them. So
that's just not what we do. But at the end of the day, when you class somebody as a dog, I got a problem with that. I really do. There's nothing on the scene to do. There's nothing like like you said on the show. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah,
so your snapback was really nice.
Thank you, Mom.
But like I say, in a situation like that, we have to pray, take them to the Lord in prayer, because if you dwell on them too long, Seth will get involved and you want to retaliate. But at the end of the day, you take situations.
Yeah, I'm not even going to, retaliate for what? Like, you taught us better than that. I'm not going to go after somebody's mom. I'm definitely not going to. I just don't have it in me. I mean,
who has that kind of energy?
I like fun shade, which is what Angela and I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
That was cute shade.
Yeah, it's funny, But the thing is, I just don't like, when you're being nasty and mean spirited, it's not coming from a good place.
It doesn't.
And I'm not gonna be a part of it. It is what it is,
Yeah. At the end of the day, I really feel like Portia would have wanted you to do the same thing to her, or vice versa. Y'all have always been like that. Y'all have always shared with each other, saying whether it was coming from somebody else, y'all talked about it.
Yeah,
as you should. Yeah, as you should. I tell you, I talked to Shamia, and she was like, I want to take you out, I want you to have fun. So I was just like, okay, because how do you know you're healed if you're only by yourself? You have to be amongst other people.
Right.
Girl, she went telling me she met with Kelly and Brit. But the girls were just talking about me the whole time.
And I was just like, this is not fun. Like, I want to hear about hating women or
Well, why
whatever.
would she want to tell you everything that somebody's saying something that's negative and she's trying to make you feel better? How does that go together? I know you don't want to hear it. You and Shamia have been friends since y'all was in high school, but you got to watch the dog that brings the bone. You going to freaking divorce?
So here's the thing. Even though I didn't think what Diane said was right, I didn't fault her too bad, because at the end of the day, she's worried about her child, just like Shamia's mom is worried about her. That's why she was offended by what Diane said about her child, because that is her child. Like Diane is offended that Portia is telling her that Shamia is, like, I guess, facilitating conversations where people talking badly about her child. So I was really like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not really that mad about what she said. Now, it did give me two theories. Like, one is Diane ain't never seen it for Shamia, but because Portia and her were able to become friends, she just kind of put up with Shamia. The other part of me feels like maybe she is jealous or feels as though the lifestyle that Shamia has, her daughter should have had, Portia should have had. I don't really truly know, but you could definitely see the shift in this friendship. And shouts out to your favorite goddess. They pulled an excerpt, and I'm going to see if I can find where they got it from. But basically, Shamia was giving her thoughts on their relationship currently that she has with Portia, and it says this. Shamia speaks on her friendship with Portia. I have nothing but love for Portia. We're childhood friends, so I view her more like a sister. Real relationships go through rough patches. I'm hoping we come out even stronger than before. Hashtag RHOA. And oh, girl, I'm just looking at this picture. It's LaToya Luckett in the background. Hey, LaToya. I have not noticed that. Okay. So what I find interesting about Shamia and Portia is, even though we can tell that they're not really in a good place, neither one of them have gone out their way to be just outright shady. Like, Shamia still says somewhat positive things about Portia, and Portia says the same thing. Like, let the things play out. Like, it doesn't seem like they want to be nasty to each other, but I feel like the moment someone gets nasty is when their relationship will probably be at a point of no return. You know what I mean? I do think Portia is struggling because this was supposed to be her, like the prodigal son season, her returning with everyone being enamored by her lifestyle, and everything pretty much fell apart before the show got started. And now everyone's looking at Shamia with the glamour and the lifestyle and the trinkets and all of that stuff. And Portia is having a hard time digesting that, but she's going to have to get over it. As well as, I don't know. I don't know if their friendship can come back from this. Mainly because now you have the input of all the fans. Because a lot of people have always felt like Shamia has been a better friend to Portia than Portia has ever had. Or Portia has never valued Shamia the same way Shamia has valued her. So Shamia is stepping out of her lapdog role to actually be her own person. And that is going to shift the relationship. Maybe for the negative, maybe for the positive, but I think we'll know by the time we get to the reunion. Like, if they go at it at the reunion, then you know the relationship will never be what it was before. So, and I also think people forget that their daughters are actually friends. You know, Shiloh and Pilar, that I think that's also why they're trying to keep it cordial, is because they want their kids to still maintain a relationship with each other. But we'll see. But that's all I got for y'all today. So that is it. That is all. And as always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in them comments below and subscribe, y'all. And I'm out. Deuces.